Hello and welcome everyone to our Fem City business class this week. I am excited. It's the end of the month for us right now, and we have a special teacher, but I'm going to tell you a bit about the class and introduce her before I turn it over. So today's class is The Immense Power of Decision Making, Unleash Your Power, Permission, and Conviction with Julie Allison. If you've been around Fem City for a little while, you probably know Julie. And for those of you that don't, you need to know Julie. So I want to tell you a bit about her. She is a good friend of mine. She is a Fem City president of West Hartford. She's also on the Fem City International board. She also helps us with so many different things with classes and is always there for Fem. So people, you need to know Julie because she's amazing. So our teacher today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. She has over 30 years of experience in nursing, including 25 of those as a nurse leader and executive. And after fulfilling a corporate career, Julie followed her passions for coaching and now helps high achieving women step boldly into their power. And what I really love about her is a lot, but importantly, I want to say is she has this really brilliant mind. She just can see what needs to come out for people when she's working with them, and just like that, she seems to be able to do it. So I love that about you, Julie, and also that she really has a heart for people. So Julie, thank you so much for agreeing to teach the class
Of course.
for FEMS today. I am going to pass it on to you.
Thank you, Lynn, and thank you for those kind words. And I truly adore you very much. So thank you. All right, everyone. Well, you'll be able to tell by my energy that this is one of my, if not my favorite topic, aside from manifestation. This is my other favorite topic. But I want to talk to you today about the immense power of decision making. And my mantra in my life and in my business is you decide. Because really, if you think about it, you cannot argue that point, whether you're in indecision, that's a decision. But ultimately, our life is created by a series of decisions. So we're going to talk about leveraging that, some pitfalls, and some tips and tricks to make powerful decisions. So today we're going to unleash your power, your permission, and conviction. So the first thing we're going to start with is our why, right? That's a really important thing. So I want you to think about, whether you're here live or you're watching the recording, why did you choose to attend this Fem City class? So as I was reflecting on this class, I'm thinking, okay, why would I show up for this? Well, potentially there's a part of you that believes that you want more. And you're like, well, if decision making is that powerful, maybe that's a key piece to me getting that more that I desire. Maybe this topic resonates with you so that as you're coaching your own clients, you have some more information about decision making. And I absolutely encourage you to steal, borrow, screenshot, whatever, or touch base with me if you want some more information to help you coach your own clients. Maybe making decisions is daunting for you. Are you one of those people that's like, I have a hard time making decisions. I sometimes I don't do anything. Sometimes I waffle, go back and forth, whatever. Maybe you just love to learn and you're like, anything that's fun and juicy from Fem City, I'll watch. Or maybe you just know me and you like my energy and you're like, heck, I'm going to hang out with Julie for a little bit on a Monday. So whatever your why is, I want you to hold on to that because that's what you're going to apply as we go through our slides. All right, so it's go time. Again, whatever reason you're here, hold on to that and let's start talking about the power of decision making. So I'm going to start with my story. Now, everyone has a story. And the story is shaped by your choices, by your challenges, and your courage. So my story started with bold decisions, driven by the conviction to live fully, and especially without regrets. That's a big deal for me. So what is my story? Well, here are some of the critical decisions that I have made in my life. And I really consider them opportunities, but at the time, they certainly didn't feel that way. So, number one, it started with I became a mom when I was 16 years old. Found out that I was having a baby when I was 15. That's a huge, huge milestone, challenge, shift, fork in the road. So, that was really my first big decision, was having this amazing daughter who's now 33. Then I had an eating disorder. Again, big decision of how am I going to get healthy and, become my best self, take care of myself. My story went on to then having a career shift. I went from being in the hospital setting as a nursing director for 13, 14 years to deciding that I was going to go work for an electronic medical record company and travel every week, Monday through Thursday, getting on a plane every week, going to places across the US that I've never been before with people I didn't know. And so that was a huge shift in my life. And again, a big decision. Then I went through a divorce. I was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 42. Went through that. I'm a survivor, thank God. And then I went from my corporate job and decided, you know what? I am going to follow my heart. I'm going to take this idea that's on my heart and I'm going to start my own coaching business where day in and day out, I get to do the thing I loved most about my corporate job, which was to mentor and coach and help people make bold decisions, take bold action, and create a life that they are absolutely excited to wake up to. So that's my story. I know that you have one. I want you to think about it as we go through these slides about decision making. So here is a very, very simple concept, and it is so powerful. So think about every little red dot on that timeline is a decision, and you are there in the middle. The life that you are living, the relationships, your career or business, financial status, health, all of the things are a direct result of those decisions that you have made up to this point, period. So I want you to just take a moment, take a deep breath, and think about that. Every decision you have made has led you to this exact moment. Wherever you're sitting, wherever your office is, if you're watching this on your phone in the car, doesn't matter. Where you are right now is completely based on the decisions you've made to this point. And I have goosebumps when I say your future, what is going to happen to the right of this, you are here, is completely contingent upon the decisions that you make from today forward. It is so basic and so simple. But the bottom line is decisions are not always easy. And simple and easy are two different things. But I want you to hold on to this visual, screenshot it, do whatever you want, because when you are having a hard time making a decision, you need to go back to this and say, okay, Julie said, listen, the decision I'm making is creating my next chapter. Am I making the right decision? Am I making the decision that's going to put me in that right direction? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with some key principles of decision making. And I'm going to help you to understand what are some tips and tricks to making decisions, and then some pitfalls. And by the end of this, you're going to have a lot of great thoughts about the decisions that you want to make, how you're going to help your clients make decisions. So let's jump into the key principles. 3 key principles. Number 1, to understand and to really hold on to is that you have the power, period. You have everything you need inside of you to create the life that you desire. I liken it to an acorn. And I heard this, if you watch my social media at all, I was in the park taking a walk and I saw acorns hanging from the tree and I pulled them off because I was like, look at these acorns. They're adorable. At the same time, Mel Robbins is in my ear talking about acorns. I was like, okay, it doesn't get more synergistic than this. But ultimately her message was every single thing is in that acorn to become an oak tree. And that is us. Every single thing you need is inside of you already to create that life that you desire. So I want you to really hold on to that power. Secondly, and equally as important, you have permission already. You do not need anyone's approval or anyone's permission to make a decision one way or the other. Only you can grant yourself that permission to pursue what's on your heart. That's a tough one because as we've grown up, naturally, our society, our parents, our schools, our churches, our whomever have imposed things upon us where we might feel like we need permission from others. Well, I'm here to tell you that's BS. Only you can grant yourself permission. So hold on to that power. Next is conviction. So once you gain clarity around what's most important to you and what that decision is that you are making, that clarity really helps you to embrace your decisions with confidence and commitment. And it is that conviction that helps you stay the course. When someone says to you, oh, that sounds ridiculous, or, oh, I can't believe you're doing that, or who do you think you are? having that conviction because you've gained that clarity around what's important to you allows you to just move forward from those comments or those opinions. So, decision making is not just about making choices, it's about unleashing your power. And I want you to harness that power, give yourself permission, and get that conviction so that you can move forward and make those really bold decisions. So now we're going to shift a little bit because it's important to understand what is the cost of indecision, right? We talked about, okay, I'm going to make decisions. I'm going to harness my power. I'm going to give myself permission. And then it gets difficult, right? We're like, yes, I believe in all these things, but now it gets tough. The people are judging you. You are feeling like it's too much work. You are questioning yourself. But here's the cost of indecision. And this is huge. You have missed opportunities. Indecision keeps you from seizing opportunities that could absolutely change your life, generally speaking, including your business, health, your finances. You will have unfilled potential. If you don't make that decisive action, you'll never fully realize your absolute ultimate potential, your strengths, your talents and your aspirations. And how sad is that, right? You're leaving it on the table. Horrible. Also, you'll have compromised self-confidence because if you're avoiding those decisions, it will erode your self-confidence. It'll make you harder to trust yourself in the future. When you make decisions and you stick to them, you have that conviction, it fuels your confidence to say, yes, I am going to continue to make these decisions, be bold, live the life that I want to live. And that's it. So I want you to think about the fact that you can absolutely fall into regret. Indecision leads to looking back at the what ifs. You don't want to be at the end of your life thinking about the could haves, the should haves, because they will cast a shadow over your life. And the last thing I want for myself and for my clients and for you is for you to be sitting in a rocking chair on your, when you're 90 or 100 years old with tears streaming down your face because of the things that you did not do. And that's the end. The bottom line is at some point, we're all going to be at that time where it is going to be a little bit too late to do things. Right now, it's not. So I want you to make sure that you're living a life with no regrets. Okay. So I've told you that, the cost of indecision. So now I'm not just going to leave you with that. I'm going to tell you about the You Decide framework, which are tools and philosophies and tips and tricks and knowledge that you can leverage to make decisions. So in my coaching practice, I have created the You Decide framework, and it has been in effect for over 2 years. Countless clients with amazing results because they've walked through this process with me. So the first thing when you're making a decision, and also I believe I do this about every 6 months, is to really get crystal clear on who I am so that my decisions going forward are aligned. But basically, there's 3 phases: reset, reimagine, and reemerge. And in the reset phase, it is important for you to gain clarity. Who am I? Who am I at this point in my life? What is most important to me? What are my core values? What are my priorities? That picture, those core values, those evolve over time because we have different experiences, different opportunities, we meet different people, we start to think differently, we're learning new things. So it is important for us to get a pulse check on what's most important to us. So once you do that piece and you really identify what's most important, those items work as your guiding principles and help you to move forward to make decisions. Also, during the reset phase, I encourage you to identify what could potential limiting beliefs be that you're holding on to. What false narratives are you holding on to or telling yourself? What stories are you telling yourself that are just simply not true? So that's the reset piece, getting crystal clear about who you are and what's most important to you. The second phase, which is reimagine, this is where you really decide what it is that you want your next chapter to look like. And the important thing about your next chapter is understanding that you own the pen. You have the pen. You get to write this next chapter. So now that you've gotten crystal clear in the reset phase, now you want to understand, based on that, what do I desire to have in my next chapter? I work with my clients and I do it for myself. I paint a bold vision of what that next chapter looks like. What is it that I want to see in my life related to my health? What do I want to see related to my finances, my success, my love, my relationships, all the things, and getting crystal clear on what that vision looks like. I talk a lot about manifestation in my work, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it here. Like I said, that's probably my second favorite topic. But ultimately, the more crystal clear and specific that we can get about what we want our future to look like, the easier it is for the universe to deliver. The easier it is for us to decide what those actions are. What is that plan? So we cannot manifest and sit on the couch. We need to be taking action, aligned action to that vision. And as we do that, manifestation is just so powerful. So getting crystal clear on what that vision looks like, intentionally manifesting around that. That's the reimagine piece. And I just want to say again, consider a blank slate or a blank canvas with you holding the pen, the marker, the paint, the whatever medium it is that you want to leverage. That's what I want you to imagine in the reimagine phase. The last phase is reemerge. So now you've gotten crystal clear on what it is that you want. You have decided what it is that you want your next chapter to look like. And now it's time to create a plan. We have to take action. I think that you can agree that we're all a little bit guilty of like the over planning or we read all the books or we make all the plans or we write all the journal entries. And then the rubber hitting the road is what doesn't occur. And really, that is one of the most important pieces, or equally as important at a minimum. So you're going to create a plan, take inspired and aligned action. You are going to have such conviction at this point if you've done the previous two phases, because you know that this is what's most important to you. You know that this is what you want it to look like. And taking that action is going to feel like second nature. And I'm going to encourage you at that point to also anticipate obstacles that could be in your way as you're putting this plan together, because this plan and this action is going to involve change. And change is difficult. Even for someone like me, I love change. Even in the corporate world, I was always on the front line of change. And so I was like, oh, I love change. I embrace change, but it's still difficult. So really, you set yourself up for success if you anticipate what are the potential obstacles that I can um, come across in this new chapter. And I have a great example that's very basic, but I'd love to share it. Let's say that your one of your core values is health, and the way it's going to manifest itself is that you want to run a half marathon. And you could picture yourself getting your bib, pinning it on, running the thing, feeling fantastic, getting your medal. Everybody's holding signs. You have this beautiful vision. Well, when you're putting your plan together, you have your training plan. And one of the potential obstacles is that every Saturday, you have your long run with this running group that you've joined to train. The obstacle is that every other Friday, there is a happy hour for either your network or your office or what have you. And you usually go to that happy hour. So now you're like, well, even if I only have a couple drinks, or even if I only stay out until 9, I still have a long run at 7 a.m. on Saturday. So you're going to create a mitigation plan. And that might look like I'm not going to happy hour. Or I'm going to ask my crew if they can move it to Thursday night for 3 months while I train. Or I'm going to go, but I'm going to just drink water and I'm going to leave at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. So you have a plan and you're empowered by your plan that will help you stay on track with your goal. And then ultimately, you're going to show up and celebrate. So when you meet your goals, when you are aligned and your actions are aligned to your plan, you are going to start to feel incredible because that alignment is just beautiful. So these are some tips and tricks around decision making. Again, this is the process that I use for myself and my clients, and it's been super, super successful. So really what I want to leave you with on this slide is when you find clarity, you will gain conviction. And that conviction is kind of like a steamroller. It's going to help you get through all of it. So I have a couple of topics I want to touch on that are aligned to this work that we're doing. So I want you to think about if it's on your heart that it's meant for you. Now, there are some times when we have an idea or a decision or a thought that's coming to us and we dismiss it. We're like, you know what? No, that sounds too hard. I don't know what people are going to say if I tell them I'm going to do this. I feel like I should make this decision, but I don't know. My sister might think I'm a little off for doing this, or, my peers might feel like I'm one-upping them. That's going to feel uncomfortable. Ultimately, if something is on your heart, it is meant for you. It is your responsibility and it is your duty to take action. So, if it weren't meant for you, that idea or that decision, that would have been given to someone else. So if there's something on your heart to do, it's meant for you. And again, if you follow me on social, you saw that a couple weeks ago, I actually read a children's book on my Instagram called What Do You Do with an Idea? And it's basically around this line of thinking, which is if an idea is on your heart, it's your responsibility to change the world with it. So that's one statement I want to talk about. The next one is that I want you to really embrace the thought of being the author of your next chapter. The decisions that you make, like I said earlier, are going to create your future. So what does your next chapter, what do you want that to look like? And get crystal clear on that so that the decisions that you make from today through the future are ensuring that you are creating that exact next chapter that you want. And yes, Lynn, you hold the pen. You hold the pen. You hold the key. It's your keyboard. Some people don't like to write anymore. They're always typing. I don't really care, whatever. But you need to be the one that is the author. Because understand, your next chapter is going to be written. It's happening. As long as you're alive, your next chapter is unfolding. If you do not grab that pen, if you are not intentionally being the author, rest assured someone else is going to start writing some stuff for you. And I don't think that that's what you want. So I want you to think about the fact that you are the author of your next chapter. Again, feel free to screenshot this stuff. I don't really care because I love to share it. Okay, next. What I want you to also do is I want you to establish non-negotiables. So what does that mean? Okay, we've talked about conviction. When you have conviction around what it is that you want in your life, what's most important to you, get clear on those things and decide if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. So if there is something that is going to, that's not aligned with your core values, it is okay, I have my long run on a Saturday morning. Someone says, hey, do you want to go out for brunch on Saturday? Well, that's pretty easy, non-negotiable. I already have my training and that is part of my plan. No, I will not be doing that. Some non-negotiables are a little bit more difficult, a little bit more vague, a little bit harder to communicate. So, but if you're crystal clear on what those non-negotiables are, that provides you with the power to stay on track, to stay aligned with what it is that you want, and to be making the decisions that are aligned to what you want your next chapter to look like. So I'm going to talk again because I think that it's so important is to be committed to living a life with no regrets. And it's all about the decisions that you make that lead you to this place. There's when we talk about decisions, it's not just about the big, scary decisions. Decisions are made with every thought that we have, with every statement that we make, with every yes or no that that we give to someone else. With We decide how we wake up in the morning. We decide how we interact with people. We decide if we're going to do personal development or not. We decide if what we consume. We decide what we eat. We decide what we drink. We decide what we read, what we watch. It's endless and beautiful because we decide, right? And I encourage you not to be a victim of your environment. That, oh well, that was on that was on TV, or oh yeah, well it was in the background, or well the book was there. You decide what you consume because that is what creates your life. So I want you to be committed to living this life with no regrets. A little bit on the dark side, and I know we're coming up on time, but I want to share this. I talked about sitting in your rocking chair when you're 90 or 100 years old and having regrets, but even more importantly, how about if you're passing away and all the yous that could have been come and visit you? The you that was had wrote the book, the you that ran the half marathon, the you that were standing on a stage, motivating thousands and thousands of people to live their best life, the you that, you know, was able to leave a legacy for your family and generational wealth. Like, you don't want to be visited by those versions of yourself that you just didn't decide to be. That's not what you want. So I want you to think about, really, it's a significant thing to think about what those regrets can feel like. So I'm going to finish it up in case there's any questions from people that are on. So I want you to think about a couple things and write this down if you are able to, or take a screenshot. Who are you in October of 2024? What is most important to you in this season of your life? And again, don't just assume that it's the same as it was in October of 2023, or heaven forbid, October of 2019, prior to the pandemic. A lot has changed. Is there a decision that you have been hesitating to make? Something that has been on your heart, an idea or a thought, a decision that has been sitting there, that you've been mulling over, that you have not actually taken those steps towards, and what is potentially holding you back? What will your future look like if you don't take that step, if you don't make that decision, if you don't move forward? And what are your non-negotiables? So those are the things that I would like you to think about as you've listened to this presentation. And then I want to leave you with this. The power is already within you. You have permission in yourself to pursue your dreams and desires, and a responsibility to create a life that excites you. Do not wait for the perfect moment. I want you to decide today. So thank you so much. And I hope that you will harness all this information, make some bold decisions. And I want you to message me if you do, or if you have a decision and you're just stuck, because I am really good at getting you unstuck. So that's it. Lynn, you can come on back.
I'm here. Julie, can I just read a comment out loud?
Please.
So inspiring. The reminder of living with no regrets is so powerful. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day. Yeah.
It's so true. And that's why I talk about it a lot, because it's directly related to decisions.
Yeah. And I just want to say you are an incredible cheerleader to people, which seems like such a fluffy term to say, but that's part of what you do. You cheer people on to continue to do it. And I don't know how you do it so well, but you really inspired me today as well, because I was writing it down thinking about, I know there's a decision I have to make about something. I'm like, you want to know what I think holds me back? Well, I haven't even gotten that deep into it. Is the risk. You talked about the risk, and I'm like, that's what I need to kind of think through is, you got to take the risk sometimes to get
because at the end of the day, you know what the biggest risk is? Regret.
Yeah, doing nothing, right?
Because anything else, even if you make the decision and you do it and it is a royal flop, you're like, whoa, that was a disaster. You are going to be better for it. You're going to shift, you're going to pivot, you're going to go through that process of reset, reimagine, reemerge again with what you now know, and you're going to end up in a much better place. Or it's going to go so well that you're like, why did I wait?
Yeah. Yeah. I loved this. If anyone has a comment for Julie, please put it in the chat or another question. And while we're waiting, if there's anything there, Julie, where can people find you to connect with you?
Absolutely. So I have, my website is julieallyson.com. So you can certainly find me there. And I am also on Instagram at Julie Allyson Decides. I'm on LinkedIn, Julie Allyson Decides. It's Julie Allyson Decides pretty much everywhere. So, I mean, I'm pretty active on Instagram if you want to get a sense of me, my whole purpose is to provide value. I want you to feel empowered and ready to go. And, people say that my coaching style is like, I give you a really big, wonderful hug and a kick in the ass at the same time, or, around the same time. And that is, I love, but I expect, right?
I love it. And that's what works. Okay. And you also, Heather said, thank you so much, Julie. You exude confidence and strength. I love how you shifted your setbacks into living without regrets. And Julianne said, I've been empowered. Thank you. Thank you for the comments. It was awesome. We're going to share this everywhere. Thank you everyone that attended, and also thank you, Julie, so much. You know, I love you. I can't wait to see you again soon. And thanks everybody.
All right.
Julie.
Bye everyone. Thank you.